The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Hek'ma Harrison, and Newy Scruggs.
Yo, here we are, Players Lounge. No players involved today. It's just Hek'ma Harrison, me, Newy Scruggs here. So, Barry Church out doing church things.
Yes.
You know, swinging the clubs, doing his thing, getting his last bit of summer in before the kids head back to school.
Don't
and
blame
Danny McCray on assignment. So, it is Hek'ma and I talking Cowboys with you right here from the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco, California. Cowboys training camp still going on in Oxnard, California. On Sunday, the Los Angeles Rams will take on the Cowboys, and we'll start to see exactly what guys are doing there. One thing to talk about Oxnard, California right now, Hek'ma Harrison, is the fact that the fans have not been coming out.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Fans upset. Fans upset two things. One, the playoff loss. Okay. Another disappointment. And two, Jerry Jones said all in. The owner and general manager said all in. It's not been all in.
Yeah.
And you know how people vote. They vote with their pocketbook.
True.
They vote with their pocketbook. And while there have been some days where it's been nice out there, you know, but there's a noticeable drop-off, and a part of it is the excitement. So we know Jerry cares about this. Jerry cares about it. And he brought up the whole season ticket sales, and yes, the Cowboys. So they are the Cowboys, okay? They are the Cowboys. But when fans start saying, you know, I've got something else to do this summer in 70-degree weather in Oxnard, California, and heck, I have gone to camp where you literally see the cars lined up down the street.
Yeah.
Because we're lucky we got that little media access, so we can just go on past. We can slingshot to the left, and you see all the cars to the right. People are not coming, and that to me is a message that they're sending to the owner.
Yeah.
And general manager and the players, you know what, man? That hopium, man. Some people got off that narcotic. They're not selling it right now. They're not in like they used to be. What is your take as you read it and you start to see it?
You know, look, the optics are not indicative of what you've seen in the past, and I think you point that out, and it's true. In the past, there has been the line around the block to get into Oxnard. But you know, you hit the nail on the head. I think there's not a lot to get excited about, and it goes down to what you did and what you didn't do in the offseason. And I think everyone could see. It could see you didn't make the moves that All In said that you were going to make, okay? And you hadn't signed your stars. So there's so much in flux right now that I think that if you inject chaos right here, this is the byproduct of that. And the fans may be speaking right now. I don't know how much of that, if you go in a time lapse of all the years that they've been at Oxnard, if you go back and say, all right, we're probably 30, 40%. Man, I saw practice the other day and I was like, that's gotta be bad. That's not a good look when you have just a handful of people out at an open practice. And please keep in mind that the Cowboys practices are free. So it's not as though you're paying to enter to the training camp. So, look, it's not a good look for the Cowboys at all, man.
So, no splash hurts. No splash in free agency. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, unsigned. Your first-round draft pick was an offensive lineman that most people did not know who he was. So that, to me, those are the things that fans are looking at like frustrated. And Hek'ma, you walk around town. Your friends know you work on the Players Lounge podcast. They come up and ask you things they ask me. What's going on? And I'm sure you're doing exactly what I'm doing. Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know.
Yeah. And even with that being said, I think if you look at this, if which two things can be true at the same time, and I do believe that fans are kind of exhausted with all the conjecture and wordplay. They want to see action. They want to see players come in here and at least make it look like you're making a push towards the Super Bowl. But still, even with that being said, if you're honest with yourself, this is still one of the more talented rosters in the NFL right now. There's no denying that. And so with those actions that you're talking about, even when you do the comparison to even other teams in the NFC East, what does Philadelphia do? they go out and they get Saquon Barkley.
Splash.
Right off the bat. The Commanders, not only do they make splashes with the head coach going out and drafting a quarterback in the first round and bringing in other players. The more you look at it, you say, all right, man, you guys are behind the 8 ball as this thing continues to go down the road, because it looks as though other teams in the NFC East are getting better. The Giants would be the only team that I could point to that doesn't look like they're trying to get any better. But other teams in the NFC have made those acquisitions that would give the impression. And again, I can only go back to what I know about the Dallas Cowboys roster as I compare it to the rest of those teams. And we still compare when you look at the Pro Bowlers and All Pros.
So what you said leads me back into who Jerry Jones is. Jerry Jones is an optimist, and he'll tell you all day long, that's me. I have to live in optimism.
Yeah.
Jerry sells hopes and dreams. From the time he bought this team in 1989, Jerry's been selling you hopes and dreams. Right now, there's a lack of hope. When you talk about the actions, what are we seeing? And that's so different because Jerry's always been the guy selling hopes and dreams. And what did he sell? He sold ambiguity.
Ambiguity. I like that word. As a matter of fact. Ambiguity. He wore it out.
Okay, so Hek'ma, if I'm trying to sell you something, all right, if I'm trying to sell Hek'ma Harrison a suit, I'm coming with hopes and dreams. I'm not coming with some ambiguity.
No.
Hek'ma, I mean, I think this black on you with the slate is going to look good. Right. I'm being it's a lot of ambiguity here. That's not selling. And for a man who sold so many hopes and dreams to people, now I look at that and I say, man, this is a byproduct when I think about the stands and I just think about overall of the team. And what is it you're selling right now? It's hard. The last 3 seasons, you sold hopes and dreams of a Super Bowl. Right. You sold Super Bowl roster. You're not selling that this year. You were able to sell Dan Quinn, defense. Look what we've got. Mike McCarthy now, taking over for Kellen Moore. You were selling. What are you selling right now? What's the hopes and dreams? It's none. Jerry talked about ambiguity, and he's right. I mean, honest. He's being honest.
Yes.
It is a lot of like, I don't know. And when I talk to people, Hek'ma, I tell them, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I've got questions. I've got thoughts. And I'm like, I don't know. But I think what we're seeing in Oxnard is indicative of what I expect to see locally here as well, back home. When they come back here for training camp, people are going to come because it's the Cowboys. But what's the intensity level? What are you expecting? Considering the Texas Rangers won the World Series last year. The Dallas Mavericks back in June played in the NBA Finals. The Dallas Stars for the second straight year played in the Western Conference Finals. You're starting to look around here and say, okay, well, what are you doing, Cowboys? Besides building me up, let me down. Jerry, how do you fix this? Where do you go next level? Jerry, ambiguity. That's to me, for a man who lived on selling hopes and dreams. Remember the old Obama posted hope?
Yeah.
You ain't putting that up right now.
No.
Okay.
There's no keep hope alive, none of that. But let me say this. This is a gentleman by the name of Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know if you look, one of the smartest people I've ever seen or heard before. I mean, this guy is a biomolecular. He's a rocket scientist, basically, is what he is. He uses a lot of words and terms. He's a part of my algorithm right now. Is the reason why I bring him up. And he's talking about stuff that I don't understand. He could talk for a whole hour, and I don't think I pick up on anything that he's putting down. I get that feeling a lot of times when I'm listening to our owner because we know that Jerry's a genius. Business-wise, he is a genius, one of the best minds in the game. But when it comes down to building a team as of late, you kind of have to stand back from it and say, okay, look, what team in the NFL wouldn't want over the last 3 years a 36-15 record? That's pretty much all of them. Okay, sure. That would tell you that you're close to reaching the pinnacle of what your goals are, which is winning a Super Bowl. What do you need? And so all in, when you look at teams like San Francisco, all right, a team that will bring in a Trent Williams, a team that'll bring in the running back from North Carolina, from the Carolina Panthers, Christian McCaffrey, a guy that you know can get you over the hump. You're not making those kinds of moves. And I think in contrast, and when you start to look at that of the representation of what you're getting on the Cowboys, that may be the lack of enthusiasm that you see from a fan base because they don't see that. But what if Jerry already believes that you have that on your team? Not Christian McCaffrey, but a Trent Williams type and Tyler Smith, number 73. Because, look, this is a young guy that is giving you everything. His talent, you know that this guy, sky's the limit for a player like him. You got Zach Martin at the end of his career, still one of the studs in the NFL. Terrence Steele, a guy that has come on that you've made be who he is right now as your right tackle. And, oh, by the way, you have a guy in Awesome Richards that you drafted last season, but also Tyler Guyton. You have a lot of talent on this team, and maybe the fan base just isn't seeing that.
Wait and see is definitely a position I think a fan should take right now. And you know what I've said the past, a lot of episodes last year, let it play out. But right now, before we let it play out, you can look at this and have a sense of apathy. They let me down again. I'm frustrated. I don't know where it's going. And I get it. Heck, we have people who come up and talk to us all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm honest. So I say, I don't know. We have to let this play out. It doesn't look good. We'll have to see. Will Jerry's thought process to make people sing for their supper, will that work? We'll see.
Did you see?
How else Hek'ma, how else do you explain it?
I mean, that's a cold way to put it, but that's, if you're in the last year of a contract, that's kind of how you feel because it sets the mood for let me see more, and I need to see more. And right now, you're getting that feel for the leader of your team, not only your head coach and the leader of your team.
Your leader of the team was second in the MVP voting. Remember when we were doing this podcast last summer, it was about Dak Prescott leading the league in interceptions, and he didn't even play a full season. Yeah. Okay, Dak was taking a beating, pure beating. So he bounces back in a new offense and leads the league in touchdown passes, and he's second to Lamar Jackson in the MVP voting. They win the division.
Yeah.
But yet I'm watching Trevor Lawrence get $55 million average a year. I'm watching Tua get paid. Make it make sense.
Yeah, and Steven comes out, I believe, a couple days ago in camp and says that they've already made an offer to Dak, and the ball is now in his court. We don't know what said offer is, but ball is in Dak's court, and Dak comes right back and says, well, I owe it to the rest of the league to take my time and get the best offer that's out there. And I'm prefacing what he said, but he's basically saying, look, it's my duty to make sure that I set the market for the younger guys that's coming behind me. And so, look, man, this was going to get messy one way or another. It was going to get messy. It got messy for Dak 2 years ago when he threw the most interceptions in the NFL. And really the front office, a lot of people around here didn't come to Dak's defense in that either. Mike McCarthy, in his first year as the offensive coordinator, you've seen how much Dak has, like his game just kind of like, it's the version of Dak that you've always wanted.
Getting rid of Kellen Moore was something I was on board with. In fact, I never understood why you bring in Mike McCarthy and you don't have him calling plays from the jump. It's the equivalent of you hiring Sean Payton and telling Sean Payton to take someone else. Why are you hiring Sean Payton? Sean Payton has called plays and won a Super Bowl. Why are you hiring Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy has called plays and won a Super Bowl. So I think after a while, it got real clear. Mike McCarthy said, okay, now give this to me. And if my job is going to be on the line, let me do this. He was really good at it. And then going back into Dak, and we'll dive into Mike next segment here. But going back to Dak Prescott, here's a guy that's hitting his 30s in a new offense, connecting like before. The first 4 games, a lot of run. Then they get drilled against San Francisco. Then it's okay, let's go. Let's start throwing this thing. Right. And they made a couple changes in the offense, which pushed CeeDee Lamb way out there. And we saw CeeDee Lamb go to another level. Your quarterback right now gets it. He gets it. For Dan Orlovsky to come up with his top 10 quarterbacks and not have Dak Prescott there, it's laughable. It's absolutely laughable. But you cannot deny that Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback in this league. He gets what he's doing. He's about to go in year 2 of this offense. You lock that up.
Yeah.
He's a young guy where now we see dudes playing into the 40s. So technically, if I really break this down, Dak's got 7 good years left, if healthy. That's 7 good years. Why would you not want to do everything you can to go and get that thing locked up now to put your quarterback at ease and, oh, by the way, to send a message to everybody else on your team, this is the guy.
Yeah.
That for me is mind-boggling, the way the league works when I see so many other guys getting paid without producing. But for some reason, Hek'ma, and you've seen this and I've seen this, there's a certain amount of people in the fan base that says, well, let him win a Super Bowl or let him take us to the Super Bowl and then we will pay him. That is not how this league works.
No, it doesn't.
And
Never has.
I keep pointing to Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
I keep pointing to Kyler Murray.
Justin Herbert.
What have they done?
Yeah.
What have they done? And I'll say this about Herbert. People talk about the arm strength, all those, that natural ability as a quarterback. But when I go and I look at Trevor Lawrence being a number 1 pick, I look at Kyler Murray being a number 1 pick, and everything that you put in there and what you were expecting, and then I look at what Dak Prescott has been able to do, what he's done, the resume, to watch. Because remember, Kyler got 46 when Dak got the 40. So Kyler jumped him. Trevor Lawrence has jumped Dak Prescott. And I look at these two players and I just say, as number 1 overall picks, guys, the league said, that's it. All the scouts they put the sheets up there, that's the guy.
The truth is, I mean, Dak is a polarizing figure. You know this from being a guy in the media, you know. And because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, the scrutiny is going to be just as high. Tony Romo faced the same thing, and countless other quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys. When you go over his career from 2016 to 2023, you see a guy that is built upon his win percentage, QBR, all of that. What people point to the most about Dak is just one thing: playoffs. And he's given, and the thing is, he's offered that up to them, and there's no way that he can live it down until he actually gets to an NFC championship or he gets to a Super Bowl. And I think that's where you get the Dan Orlovskis of the world that come from behind the desk and just, he's not even top 10 in the NFL, knowing that that's a lie.
And so for me, the part that I don't understand is you want to couch it amongst, we need to see playoff success. That's not how paydays work. So it's you want this bar that's over here, but it doesn't. That's not how people are paid.
Yeah.
You know, you're not paying TJ Watt based on playoff. That's not how you're paying a guy.
No.
This is the market. You're the player. Boom, you fit me in the slot. Trevor Lawrence, what was it? A 21-point lead they had in the playoffs 2 years ago?
Yes.
Last year, I penciled in Jacksonville to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you did.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
They couldn't even win the division.
Yeah.
Okay? They couldn't win the division. Houston went right past them. They regressed. Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback regressed. And what was his reward? $55 million a year. Got a new contract. And that's my thing, Hek'ma. You can't talk to me, well, I need to see playoff success. That's not how this thing works in the league.
What else do you judge? What else can you judge Dak on at this point other than playoff success? And look, I'm just saying, look at the big picture for him. As far as his money, he needs to get paid. He needs to be played amongst the top in the league. But what else do you judge him on when you can even go back sample size last 3 years? He's won 36 games.
Let me tell you right after the break.
Okay.
Because you asked a very good question. I've got an answer. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. He is Hek'ma Harris. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The creators of Buffalo Casino Games bring you Cowboy-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat. Find America's team on and off the reels now at a casino near you. Do you have a gambling problem? Please contact 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
All right, Hek'ma Harris, appreciate you. It's Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. We are in Frisco in the SWBC podcast studios. Let's bring in from Oxnard, California, 3-time Super Bowl champion and member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame, Florida A&M's own Nate Newton.
61!
Nate, what's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, man? How you guys doing today?
Good,
Big
good,
fella,
good.
what's happening?
Heckma Harris and Newy Scruggs with you here. All right, I want to jump right into the center position. Is this job now Brock Hoffman's to lose?
It's Brock Hoffman's, and if he loses it, they may have to go out and get another guy because right now, our young Cooper is not steady with his snaps. And you know, without the ball in the quarterback's hand, it's going to be havoc. So right now, Brock Hoffman is looking like Superman.
Brock Hoffman is now. What do you say about the rookie coming in from Kansas State, Cooper Beebe? They also have flexed him over to guard as well. What does that competition look like between them? Even if Hoffman is the number one at center, how is he looking? Obviously, backing up Zach Martin.
He's a more confident guy at the guard position. Naturally, that's what he played a lot of in college. He's a little bit more physical. He moves a little bit a lot quicker. He at that guard position, but at the center, he's a little hesitant. A lot of times, you see him thinking about his snap, so he don't get off with any physicality. He don't move guys with the same flavor that he does when he's at the guard. But as time go on, he will get more and more comfortable. You can tell him he's the guy that wants it. He works at it. He's diligent in what he's trying to do. So, but it will take time. I mean, I know by where he's been drafted at in the third slot, we expect a lot, but that is a difference from college to playing with full-grown men in the NFL.
3-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton joining us right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. So let's move over to the left tackle position. They take Tyler Guyton in the first round out of Oklahoma. He's been missing time with the flu. He will not practice today. Nate, what is your confidence level in this young man right now starting at left tackle against the Cleveland Browns for game one?
He came out of the gates looking great, Newy and Hek'ma. The first few days without pass, his feet were great. He was moving. He still had to work on his technique. And then something happened. I guess this flu kind of really threw him back because he started getting a little bit inconsistent, and that's probably where he started feeling weak, and all of a sudden he just disappeared from practice. But I will tell you this right here. They have a kid right now at that left tackle position, man, named Awesome Richards, who played a lot last year during training camp and in the preseason. I talked with Mike Solari. They like him a lot. He's gotten stronger from last year. He's always been able to stay in front of guys. He's been looking good. He took almost every snap because Chuma is out. He took almost every snap with the first team. In the blue and white practice that they now call it. So this kid is looking good. Right now, I can't give you an update on our first-round pick because he's not been in practice the last 2 or 3 days. But Chuma is out. Has been out with a back, and this put Austin Richards in a position where he can truly compete for that swing tackle job. Maybe a little bit more as time go on because we don't know if the first round pick can put in enough days to show them unless they just going to slot him there like when they took my job and gave it to Eric Williams. Hey, this is your job. So that can happen too because he is the first round pick.
Man, so it's weird that you say that because I was going to bring that up. You mentioned on the broadcast during the blue and white about Big E, Eric Williams, and how bringing in a character like Eric Williams, how it installed that mental toughness in you guys as a group. And that is something that everybody has been saying that the Cowboys has been missing, that mental toughness. Who is a guy on this offensive line right now, Big Nate, that you would say, look, he could be the Big E here today that we had back in the 90s?
That's Tyler Smith. Big E was quiet like Tyler Smith. In his first year, he didn't say much. His second year, he took the job, and not only did he say, come on, you, it's time to butt some heads, he was doing it. He was slinging people around. He was competing at a high level against one of the greatest players in Reggie White. So he not only started talking about it, he started exemplifying it. And once that happened, he started calling people out on film like, oh, do you let that dude do you like that? So the next day in practice, I had to maul folks, baby. I had to step my game up. And Tyler can do this out here if he chooses to do that. Just start challenging people because he is that type of dude. He is that guy.
Nate Newton joining us right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. I'm Newy Scruggs, along with Hek'ma Harrison. Nate is out in Oxnard, California, site of Dallas Cowboys training camp. Nate, take me back here to the first-round pick. What do you need to see from basically this week, there's a preseason game against the Rams, until that first game, which would allow you to feel comfortable with him starting against the Cleveland Browns?
He just have to start stacking up good day after good day. It starts with the first rep like he did. He was stacking up days when they wasn't in pass, and even in the first day of pass, he started stacking up that good day after good day. Technique getting better, using his hands, not leaning. And all of a sudden he got sick. And we lost him. And so that's what he has to come back. If he can come back and be strong, because if you're weak, I've dealt with the flu. And I've had that pandemic-type symptoms. When you're weak, it's nothing you can do. People will mishandle you, and you will get a bad read. The only way we get him back is get him back, ramp him up, get him back strong, feeling good like he was. I mean, at least feeling good mentally like he was when he first hit camp. And then start building good day on good day. Practice, better practice. And you just have to go. Sometimes you have to put a guy in there to see where he's at. And the only way you're going to get real football in today's football is to play your guys. That is the only way we would actually know if he can ball out or not.
Let me follow this up, Nate. If Tyler Guyton is not ready to go and start, and they're comfortable, especially you got Myles Garrett against Cleveland,
right?
Would it be Chuma or Austin Richards as your starting left tackle?
We have to let this thing play out. We don't want this thing to come down who's the healthiest guy, because right now Austin Richards, if I had to start today, that is who Nate Newton would take a chance on. That's just me now. And I told Hek'ma before the show when he called me earlier, I said, man, that's a big jump from no snaps after preseason last year to boom, all the snaps in preseason if the other guys don't work out, to going into Myles Garrett. This is one of, man, every time I look at Myles Garrett, man, I wonder why Dallas didn't try to rig something to get this dude in the draft many years ago. This dude is a beast. He looks it, he plays it, and it exudes that through it. I've listened to a couple of interviews with him, Newy. He riles his team up. He is that guy. He is that man.
Well, speaking of on the other, I'm going to go on the other side. We talked enough about our offensive linemen, but a guy that I'm excited to see get some action is DeMarvion Overshawn. And Nate, I just got to ask you about him and what you've seen from him down in Oxnard.
They got him on the snap count. This is one guy that if you can make that jump right back from major knee surgery or blown knee, he is that guy. I mean, I never believed it with Gallup. I never believed it with Steele. But I believe it with him. He just don't care. And if he has any doubt, he is willing to get on this practice field and just work himself through it, man. I mean, he's a I don't know how to put it. He's what confidence. If you look for the definition of confidence, they have probably a picture of him in the dictionary, because he believes in all his heart that he's did the work, he's put in the work, he's put on a few more pounds, and he want to get in and he want to show the world that Overshawn is back.
Now, Nate, you have played with and is friends with one of the best cornerbacks to ever grace the field in Deion Sanders. And I'm not putting this young man in the same breath as Deion, but he had himself one heck of a season last year, and that's Deron Bland. What about Deron Bland in camp right now, man? Is he a guy that looked like he's primed to have another great season for the Cowboys?
Bruh, every time they throw at him, he's either knocking it down, picking it off, or he's just barely missing getting there. He's playing with such great confidence right now, and he's inspiring all these other young bloods out there to get their stuff together, and this is how you play ball. And once again, we need to see is how he's going to respond, because now he's going to be challenged in some of these games to get the number one receiver or take out the number two receiver, because they believe in this kid. I mean, he's the rally man. I mean, I know who Trayvon Diggs is. I know what he did before the injury, but he's the rally man right now. He's the rally man in the backfield.
Nate, my last question for you, then Hek'ma will get in one. I'm old enough to have covered you back in the old St. Ed's days. Sir. Those practices were built upon the sharpening iron of the offensive and defensive lines. As much as people talk about the triplets, the Cowboys Super Bowl teams were very good on the offensive and defensive lines here. What are you seeing out of this defensive line right now that gives you any hope, and what are your concerns?
The kid they drafted, Marshawn Nealon, you can see he got something in his neck, bro. I mean, you know what that word I'm looking for. We just can't see it on his channel. He got it in his neck, and you can see that he's willing to work hard. Y'all got to excuse the music. That's the mojo moment. But this kid is willing to work hard, and that's forcing Chauncey and all these other guys to get up off their rear and do what they have to do. You know, D-Law going to be D-Law. How you doing, sir? And you know the other kid going to be himself, Parsons. But we need for our inside guys, the first-round pick from a year ago from Michigan, we need him to pick it up. We need him to start stacking good day on good day. He's a moody kid, and that has no place. When you're a moody kid on defense and you're 100% a light side guy, you have no space. You have no time for that. He has to realize that he has a purpose, and that purpose is to be the best run stopper he can be in the middle of the Dallas Cowboys defense.
All right, Nate. So we've been having a little discussion here about a player on offense, and I look, big fella, you know I trust it if you say it. Now I'm gonna run to the bank. I'm gonna cash that check if you say it. But okay. Newy Scruggs believes that Hunter Lipke
is the fourth down, is the third down. Yes, I told you that earlier. You don't have to set it up. He is the third down guy right now. When Dak run out, when they say 2-minute drill, when they say third and long, when they say second and long, Hunter Lipke come running out there, man, looking like an old beast killer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you know Hunter Lipke is your man until they find somebody better. And right now, I don't think Coach McCarthy looking for that somebody better.
All right, Nate, go on, man. Go on, watch practice, man.
Nate, thank you, sir.
Go on, Nate, man.
Nate, thank you. Joining the choir, Nate. Thank you very much. That is Nate Newton live from Oxnard, California, right here on the Players Lounge. I'm just going to go to break right on that with what Nate said. I'm just going to let you sit and marinate in what Nate Newton had to say about L Boogie, okay? Hunter Lipke from now on is L Boogie. You got McCarthy out there saying, come on, L Boogie, get on out here. I was ahead of the curve. Now you got a 3-time Super Bowl champion, a Black College Football Hall of Famer, backing up what I've said on the play. That's it, Nate, baby. You didn't make my day. Made my day.
God bless you, guys.
All right, now,
Bye-bye.
God bless you too, baby. We're going to take our final break, and I'm going to let Hek'ma Harrison just go ahead and just, marinate on what Nate Newton had to say.
Had to ask.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. This Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Geek, right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Unbelievable.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
I'm Cowboys alumni Danny McCray, here with Smoothie King asking, what's that sound? That's the sound of me sipping one of their power-packed smoothies with over 10 grams of protein. With real fruits and organic veggies, because at Smoothie King, what you see is what you sip. So grab a delicious Smoothie King smoothie, throw a straw in your jaw, and get sipping real. Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1. Any broadcast without the express addition of cooked-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12. No crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane's sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31. Anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The official 2024 Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine training camp preview is now available. This year's edition featuring scouting reports, position analysis, a pull-out schedule poster, and articles from your favorite Cowboy writers. Get your training camp preview today at your local pro shop or DallasCowboys.com/star.
All right, Hek'ma Harrison, appreciate you here. Players Lounge at Barry Church is off today. Danny McCray is off today. So it's Mr. Harrison and I hold it down. I'm Newy Scruggs. And Nick Harris out at Cowboy training camp has tweeted that Jalen Brooks is now headed to the injury tent. And he tweeted that out 3 minutes ago. Royce Freeman 8 minutes ago already walking toward the injury tent. So 2 players hurt at practice already in Oxnard, California. So there you go. And, oh, by the way, Royce Freeman went from the tent. Now he's going to the locker room. So
not good.
All right.
Let's start this day all over again. You want to do the intro for the show again? God, that ain't how you want to start your camp. That is not the way you want to start practice right there.
You spoke about the Rams game. We were just doing the pre-show. What about it? Like, who's going to play?
Yeah.
I mean, this is now with the way things are going here, you can't risk guys to injury in a game. You just really can't. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, there's certain guys who need to play, like Mozzie Smith needs to play. There are guys that need to get out there. So you had asked after our first break about Dak Prescott and people so wanting to base his pay off playoff success, and that's just not how it works.
Right.
It's never been that way for quarterbacks. I mean, for years, Matthew Stafford was one of the highest paid guys around here, and Matt didn't have any playoff success. It wasn't until he got to the Rams that he got it. Kirk Cousins made a living without playoff success. He was cashing major checks. Here's a guy coming off an Achilles, and he got paid again.
Yeah.
So I just find it very interesting that there's this big whole bar of what Dak Prescott has to prove and do when other people who do not have the resume of Dak Prescott have not gone through it. Year 2 in a Mike McCarthy offense in which he led the league in touchdown passes. I don't know exactly what else you want or need to see. The frustrating part, if you're Dak Prescott and you're in the Dak camp, is that he continues to have to go through this with the Cowboys. Troy Aikman never had to do this.
No.
Tony Romo never had to go through this type of doubt from the owner. Those two guys were always had checks. And now I'm kind of going back and remember exactly what you said. Here's why I think Dak does get paid.
Here?
Yes. I was working here when Troy Aikman retired, and they were lost in the woods. Tony Banks, Quincy Carter.
Oh.
Then you went to Clint Sterner.
You could. Hey, at any moment.
Ryan
Don't
Leaf.
make me ride that train with you. I get it. We were bad at the quarterback position for a long time.
And Jerry, at 81 years old, does not have a solution. Unless Trey Lance comes out here Sunday and balls out like crazy, your reaction and other people's reaction is, this ain't it. So in my mind, Dak Prescott has the leverage, and waiting around is not going to help you.
Yeah.
The prices keep going up.
Yeah.
There is no liquidation market on franchise quarterback. No. There's no buy one, get one free or 70% off or hometown that Tom Brady discount stuff is gone. People aren't doing that. Yeah. So you might as well get it done. If he does not have this quarterback next year, I don't think anybody is very confident in what's behind door number 2. There are no quarterbacks on the roster for 2025, Hek'ma.
No.
Lance, Rush, Prescott, there's nothing there. And it's not like we're sitting up here talking about there's a whole bunch of quarterbacks that are ready to go in this draft. And you don't even know where you're going to be right now to secure one of those quarterbacks.
Now, look, you've taken finance classes. You know leverage is everything in a negotiation. And right now, it looks like Dak has all the leverage. But he who controls the money controls the policy. And Jerry is going to control what happens next with Dak's contract. I agree with you. Even going back to those early years that Dak was coming to contract negotiations, they just opted to sign Zeke instead of signing Dak. The MO of the front office has been
another mistake.
to kick the can down the road until, okay, we are just sure that we're sure that this is our guy. And to me, look, for all those people that have an opinion about Dak that says, look, he needs to win a Super Bowl or at least get this team to the NFC Championship, I'm with you on that. You don't judge these other guys based off of that. So it's really unfair in nature to judge Dak on that. But you understand here at the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to go that way. And if they reset the market with Dak and you're not able to re-sign other superstars, the fingers are going to be pointed right back at him if he doesn't get this team to that point.
Hek'ma, we knew when he signed the contract there would be a market reset. And it was. We saw it with Kyler Murray right out of the gate. It's going to keep getting reset. And that's just the nature of this position. Whatever he signs, it will be reset again. So just jump in there. Honestly, in my opinion, when Jalen Hurts got paid, they should have paid him too.
Automatically.
You knew where it was going.
Right.
You knew where it was going. The same thing with these receivers. Once A.J. Brown got paid, sign CeeDee Lamb. I don't know why they keep waiting. Obviously, they have money. Jerry's going to sign a check, but it is what it is. Hey, man, this was fun. Time flew by. We will we'll do it again next week. Look, Cowboys' first preseason game against
Wednesday.
the Rams. I know that I'll be interested to see what the offensive line is looking like, who's healthy. You got to get Tyler Guyton out here to get some reps. All right, Hek'ma, good talking, man.
My man.
All right. Newy Scruggs, Hek'ma Harrison, Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Barry Church off this week, Danny McCray off this week, but we'll be back with you one more segment. Do Wednesday, right? Wednesday, 1 p.m. right here on DallasCowboys.com radio. Jazz, appreciate you producing it.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!